Well, there's no problem. If you had a gun, shoot him in the head.
A Simple Favor premiered in theaters over 3 years ago, and the fashion is still on my mind. This stylish thriller follows the beautiful Emily Nelson, a suburban mother and wife with some dark secrets. Her best friend, Stephanie Smothers, is determined to uncover the mysteries of Emily's past.
A few weeks ago, I met Emily, this wonderful, elegant person. 5 days ago, Emily went missing.
I'll warn you, you go poking around in her past, you're gonna find something that is terrifying. I've never seen such a beautiful girl want to be so invisible.
This movie did not get enough hype, especially when it comes to the fantastic costume design. It's an interesting display of masculine and feminine women. Before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell button for alerts on new videos, like, share, and follow me on Instagram and TikTok for more fashion and movie talk. Let's start with the first outfit worn by Emily Nelson, played by the gorgeous Blake Lively. We are first introduced to Emily Nelson when she steps out of her luxurious car, revealing her red bottom heels and classic three-piece suit, with her umbrella creating an air of mystery by covering up her face.
He's right there.
We're immediately aware of the fact that Emily is not like the rest of the mothers, as she strides through puddles in 6-inch heels to pick her kid up from school. Blake Lively had a clear vision on what she wanted her character to look like. She came to the costume designer Renee Ehrlich-Kalfes and said she wanted to dress like Paul Feig, the director of A Simple Favor. He is known for his impeccable personal style.
And one of the first meetings I had with Paul, he said, what do you think the character should look like? So I was like, I started thinking of things I could do. I was like, I'll bleach all her eyebrows off, or I'll just like dress white and like be like a messiah, or just like all of these weird things. And I was like, what is like something that's really iconic and distinct? Like Paul has his thing, and I was like, well, why don't I just look like him?
Paul wears suits everywhere he goes, including sitting in the director chair. He states, "I'm the captain of the ship. And if I get on the ship and the captain is wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt, I get off the ship." I don't think Emily is the only character that takes inspiration from Paul. As the two are hanging out for the first time, Emily compliments Stephanie on her socks. Paul Feig can usually be found pairing his polished suits with funky-looking socks. Renee then went on to gather images from the famous fashion photographer Helmut Newton. Helmut Newton's photos push this masculine-feminine concept, and we wanted to establish that for Emily, says Kalfes. Images of Lauren Bacall and Marlene Dietrich were also included in the mood board for Emily Nelson's look. I think there is nothing more intimidating than women in business wear. Just for the simple fact, it at one point in time was unheard of. The history of Homo sapiens suggests that men would hunt while the women stayed back and gathered for their family. Not much has changed, it's just now the jungle is a corporate office and men are hunting for a raise. Gender roles and societal norms suggest that men should be making the money to provide for their family and women should be at home in gorgeous shirtwaist dresses, making dinner and keeping the house tidy. Women shall be the beauty and calmness that a man comes home to after a rough day of hunting. Emily Nelson is a beauty, but the last thing she encompasses is femininity. Seeing people go against the status quo in any way will always result in some sort of intrigue. Emily steals looks from classic men's suiting. Ties, bow ties, cufflinks, watches, and pocket watches are all a part of her looks. She doesn't try to feminize it in any way by using colored suits, showing much skin, or tailoring it too tight. Her hair is messy and undone, showing us she's not trying too hard. Even when she puts her hair in a bun, it's not gelled down, it still has its wavy texture, and looks like it took about 3 seconds to pull together. She's playing a character, and her outfits are pulling most of the weight when it comes to her facade. Why care about hair? Have you ever wanted to learn how to sew? If the answer is yes, I have downloadable sewing patterns on my website. I will put the link in the description below. They are digital files so you can download them right away. No waiting for shipping so you can get started on your project lickety-split. They come with instructions with pictures, and I also have video instructions on my TikTok and right here on this YouTube to help you out. This is your sign to learn how to sew. My favorite part about learning how to sew is I can have any clothing item I want in the world. I can see something on Hailey Bieber that costs $2,000 and just remake it, like Jenny Humphrey. And if you ever need help on a project or get stuck on anything, feel free to DM me on Instagram. All right, let's get back to the essay. Emily makes it abundantly clear she has no desire to fit in and doesn't care what people think about her.
Has Nikki's mom volunteered?
Emily? Please, she would know a sign-up sheet if it bit her in the ass.
She opts for pattern suits to represent her bold personality. Patterns provide a more eye-catching look by giving the outfit more depth. Emily can usually be seen wearing pinstripes or chalk stripes. The pinstripe pattern is made up of thin lines the size of a pin scratch, not equal in width to the background. Chalk stripes are a little bit wider and less defined. A simple way to distinguish the two is that pinstripes will be more sharp and chalk lines will be more blurred. Striped suits are the uniform of bankers, Wall Streeters, and gangsters. In the 1920s, during the Prohibition era, striped suits exploded in popularity. The Prohibition was a nationwide ban on the selling of alcohol. As you can imagine, Prohibition was tough to enforce. This resulted in illegal production of alcohol, a rise of speakeasies, and an increase in gang violence and organized crime. This was a period of rebellion, and striped suits were the representation of that. The Chinese philosopher Confucius wrote, "If one should desire to know whether a kingdom is well governed, if its morals are good or bad, the quality of its music will furnish the answer." I believe the same goes for fashion. You can see what is going on socially and economically if you review the fashion during a certain period. For example, during World War II, there was a nylon rationing, and women had to draw seam lines on the back of their legs to create the illusion that they were wearing stockings. This was paired with liquid stockings, which was essentially foundation for your legs. Women went to such lengths because it was against the social norm to go out bare-legged. Back to Emily's outfit. Striped suits have been particularly popular with gangsters, Al Capone being one of them. In a New York Times article written by Alex Tadella, he states, Al Capone wore the pattern to convey bravado and a sense of orderliness. The pattern was a symbol of power dressing, a term coined for business people who wore formal clothes to appear powerful. This style of dress gained popularity with women in the 1980s. Reflecting the fact they were working in high-powered positions alongside men. They used the way they dressed to establish authority and be taken seriously. As we have seen, Emily has quite the high-powered job, working as a public relations executive for Dennis Nylon, a very popular male designer, one of which she has no problem going head-to-head with.
Dennis, sweetie, let's try this again. Okay, I want you to go home and chill the fuck out and don't ever call me again. Bye.
Striped suits were the uniform for rebellion, greed, and crime, all of which describes Emily to a T. Her history of crime include burning her parents' house, stealing her mother-in-law's ring, murdering her sister, and faking her death. The pinstripe pattern being in her first outfit of the movie encompasses the type of woman Emily is. Now, if you look closely, you can see that the striped pattern on the jacket is different from the rest of the suit. I find this to be an interesting representation of Emily's I don't give a fuck attitude. She couldn't be bothered with perfectly matching her outfit, yet still looks put together and powerful. Her looks are a perfect mix of refined and messy. One of my favorite things about fashion is we can use it to become the person we want to be. I have in my own life used fashion strategically to hopefully get a certain outcome I'm looking for.
Look, everybody, I got a cowboy. Wow.
It's very spiritual in the sense that you can feel defeated, insecure, and lazy. But the second you put on a tailored blazer, you suddenly feel more powerful, confident, and strong. I spoke a little bit about this in my Victoria's Secret video essay, which is right here on this channel, so you can check it out right after this video. Fashion is Emily's armor. Emily possesses a lot of quote-unquote male characteristics. She's blunt, assertive, unapologetic, cunning, and overtly sexual.
Come on, don't you miss sex? Having man fuck you on top of a washing machine?
Her clothing being traditional menswear represents her masculine personality. She even reminds Stephanie that she should never apologize because it's a fucked up female habit.
Yeah, well, sorry.
Don't say you're sorry. You don't need to do that. You don't need to apologize. It's a fucked up female habit. You don't need to be sorry for anything ever.
That's true. That's great advice. Thank you.
She reveals the fact she's the breadwinner, stating she has to pay for everything and that Sean spends like he's the man of the hour.
My husband doesn't have anything, if it makes you feel better, but he does spend like he's the man of the hour. I fucking have to pay for everything.
Even the advertisements for A Simple Favor make it clear Emily is a masculine woman. Blake Lively's positioning is similar to Patrick Bateman, played by Christian Bale in American Psycho. Interesting parallel here, considering one of the themes of A Simple Favor. Greed.
All this for a little money?
A little $4 million.
If you're unfamiliar with American Psycho, the plot follows Patrick Bateman, a wealthy investment banker who leads a double life as a serial killer. He tries to tell people multiple times his dark thoughts and that he enjoys murder in his free time, but no one pays attention to this. The characters are so caught up in their work life, they often confuse one another for different people. The movie explores the shallow and greedy aspects of capitalism. People aren't really connecting with each other. They're just using one another to get ahead. Like how Emily views Stephanie. She makes her believe she cares and that they're forming a friendship when in reality she's just using her for personal gain.
Stephanie, I need your help.
Are you okay?
I'm fine, but I do need just a simple favor.
Patrick Bateman and Emily Nelson aren't that different. Both dapper, attractive, successful people who are prisoners of the system, skating by on their looks and accomplishments to distract from their wrongdoings. Emily might appear like this affluent boss babe, but as we come to learn, she and her husband aren't doing so well.
This house is incredible.
Thanks, it's a fucking money pit.
Yeah, we're on the verge of bankruptcy.
Drowning.
Emily went to extreme lengths in this movie, such as killing her own sister so she could fake her death and receive insurance money. That is how deep she is in the rat race. It will shock you what people are capable of when money and survival are at stake. Emily Nelson and Patrick Bateman are the face of American greed. Their crisp suiting completing the archetype of the corporate climber. If you think fashion isn't a vital part of deception, I want you to envision Emily Nelson and Patrick Bateman in a hoodie and sweatpants. A Simple Favor is described as a stylish thriller with comedic moments sprinkled throughout. The humor doesn't stop at the costume design. One of the most memorable parts of the film is Stephanie's puzzled face as Emily rips off her dickie. Blake Lively told ET Canada that they pulled inspiration from the popular male stripper group Chippendales.
I was like, the suit is great, but we need in a sexy moment. And I was like, oh, we just have to pull from like the Chippendales.
Their costume consists only of a collar, bow tie, and a cuff set, accompanied by nothing other than a six-pack of abs. It's no secret that male stripping is much more of a comedy show than a place for women to get sexually aroused. It's entertainment, and pulling those pieces into Emily Nelson's outfit makes the movie more humorous.
When has a suit been comedic, like in this setting? So anyway, so I saw that fashion was an opportunity for humor and for comedy, and that was really neat because people don't normally look at storytelling down to those details.
Humor is a universal language. Every human on this planet laughs, and comedy creates bonds so strong, it can be dangerous sometimes. I know that I've kept seeing a guy longer than I should have, just for the simple fact he kept me laughing for hours. Emily's dry humor is another trait that makes her intriguing to people.
Does your kid drink, maybe? I mean, it's never too early to start teaching
I
him.
think you're joking, but great.
Emily Nelson is a cunning, manipulative, lying, murderous woman. You'd think this would result in absolute outrage from audience members, but you actually find yourself liking Emily and at times rooting for her. Why is this? Aside from being funny, she is beautiful, and pretty privilege is no secret. Beauty is power. Everyone, including beautiful people, know this and either use it for good or evil.
A woman who's intelligent and also knows how to weaponize her beauty, there's nothing more dangerous than that. There's nothing more powerful than that. And so I think I feel like all women should embrace the fact that as the divine feminine, we have a lot of power, and that instead of rejecting it, I'm happy to embrace it.
In the book Survival of the Prettiest, The Science of Beauty, Nancy Etkoff explains that dating back to the days of Plato, it was believed that physical beauty meant goodness in someone. Sappho, the Greek poet, wrote, "What is beautiful is good, and who is good will soon be beautiful." These ideas spread. Baldassare Castiglione wrote that beauty is a sacred thing. Only rarely does an evil soul dwell in a beautiful body, and so outward beauty is a true sign of inner goodness. It can be said that in some manner the good and the beautiful are identical, especially in the human body. And the proximate cause of physical beauty is, in my opinion, the beauty of the soul. When we act differently towards beautiful people, it might be because we subconsciously equate beauty with morality. Now, another tool Emily possesses is that she's a woman. Statistics show that women are significantly less likely to commit crimes. We're looked at as these docile, vulnerable, nurturing beings that it can become quite shocking whenever women commit crimes. Knowing this, women can use it to their advantage. No one will suspect a woman of doing a heinous act.
So she was never a person of interest in his disappearance. How's she gonna take a man down and move a body? Look at her. That must be very convenient for her. What? Everyone underestimates her.
Emily is also charming and blunt. At first, you're taken aback by her bold personality, but then you find it quite refreshing. A woman that is so unapologetically herself and encourages others to be the same. What a breath of fresh air. Emily Nelson is quite the siren. Her refreshingly unique personality, accompanied by an enticing wardrobe, can make you forget all about her negative traits. Now let's take a look at Stephanie Smothers, played by Anna Kendrick. These two women are polar opposites in every way, and their clothing represents that. Stephanie is feminine, while Emily is as masculine as they come. Stephanie is almost always seen in either a skirt or a dress, while Emily opts for pants. In their first scene together, Stephanie is dressed in a classic yellow raincoat and heeled hunter boots. This represents Stephanie's Type C personality. She's overly prepared and detail-oriented. Emily wouldn't even bother checking the weather. Stephanie is the perfect example of the all-American wife archetype. She loves to cook, vlogs as her side hobby, and is a super mom to the point where she makes other parents feel inferior.
Please tell me you don't actually own a helium tank, Stephanie.
I think lots of people own helium tanks, Stacy, because kids love balloons. Do you not have one? You bad parent?
Don't do that.
Do what?
Don't denigrate your good parenting to comfort me for my shitty parenting.
Stephanie represents the average woman, sweet, nurturing, and overly apologetic. I've come to realize I find people-pleasing tendencies more common with women. Her colorful palette and childlike patterns symbolize how unsuspecting and naive she comes off. Stephanie's fashion choices and personality makes Emily assume she will be easy to manipulate. A sweet mommy vlogger is the least of anyone's worries, right? We find out later that Stephanie isn't all candy and rainbows. When trading confessions with Emily, she reveals she slept with her half-brother. Her husband suspects that her half-brother is the father of their son.
Is Miles mine or not?
Are you here? Are you listening to yourself? You sound ridiculous.
Fashion can be used to represent who we are, or it can be used to pretend like we're something we're not. Stephanie's personal style is inviting and innocent. Stephanie feels guilty for her husband and brother dying in a car crash. The love triangle has haunted her, and maybe dressing the way she does is her way of trying to convince herself and the outer world she is nothing but a sweet, innocent mother. At the beginning of the movie, we see innocent-looking textiles and patterns. She is seen wearing clothing with kid-like embellishments such as pom-poms and flowers. This symbolizes her youthful energy and how her days are filled with wholesome activities such as being a PTA mom and working on her cooking vlog. Renee Ehrlich-Kelfess put Kendrick in brands such as Anthropologie, Kate Spade, and Alice and Olivia. All brands share a similar target market. Stacey Bendit, the founder of Alice and Olivia, states that her brand is for women who enjoy classic, feminine, distinctively girly kind of clothes. As Stephanie gets wrapped up in the dark world of Emily Nelson, her style changes a bit. She opts for more richer colors and more sophisticated silhouettes. The patterns are the same but more mature. Let's take a look at the scene in the cemetery. Stephanie goes from dressing like an all-American housewife in a bright shirtwaist dress to this slim, slightly sexy look. Emily is rubbing off on her, but her core elements stay intact. Girly patterns and bold embellishments are two things she's not willing to give up. Stephanie's perfectly propped floral choker next to Emily's undone tuxedo tie tells you everything you need to know about these women. The floral pattern is a universal symbol for femininity and chastity, while the pinstripe pattern represents power and greed. Emily is the overly sexual one, and Stephanie is more shy. This is the last suit we see on Emily, and it is quite a contrast to her others. It is an ivory-colored striped suit with a revealing top to match. She is usually in darker colors and doesn't reveal much skin. She is seeing Stephanie for the first time after her failed attempt at faking her death. She is essentially coming back from the dead, and this suit represents a ghostly presence. I'd imagine this is the suit gangsters would wear in heaven. If they get to heaven. Her cleavage-bearing top and walking stick add a grandiose component to her comeback fit. At this point, she has accepted defeat, and the outfit she is wearing reflects that. She's not trying to hide anymore, as she was when she wore the incognito outfit to meet with Sean. Emily isn't the only one who uses clothing to her advantage. When Stephanie is trying to uncover more clues on where Emily is, she decides to go to her place of work. Stephanie is well aware of the brutal treatment she will get in a high-fashion office if she arrives as herself. She digs up an old Hermes scarf and pairs it with a blazer. She learned from Emily that you can wake up and choose the character you want to be for the day with a simple outfit change. When Stephanie's attempt at deception doesn't go as planned when Dennis Nylon notices her outdated clothes,
never wear a vintage Hermes scarf with a Gap t-shirt. If you were truly Emily's friend, you would know that.
she then remembers a page out of Emily's playbook.
Chill the fuck out and don't ever call me again.
That's how you talk to your boss?
Yeah, you gotta go right at them, especially the powerful ones, or they will fuck you in the face.
Bargain basement Tom Ford. If you don't have this Kindle and hand me this second, I will tell the thousands of moms that watch my vlog that Dennis Nylon is a bully who victimizes women. Because if you lose moms, you lose business.
When she turns on her assertive side, Dennis Nylon looks quite intimidated.
Tom Ford wishes he were me.
That's the thing about clothing. When deciding you're going to be someone different, you have to embody it as well. Fashion will give you the push, but the rest is up to you. Now let's talk about the ending of A Simple Favor. Emily's style pulls a 180 in a floral shirtwaist dress, mirroring the iconic look of the American 60s housewife. Why is this? Could it be that Emily knows fashion is powerful and persuasive? Throughout this whole movie, it's clear to us that she is a professional chameleon. Survival is all Emily knows. She's been running and hiding from her past her whole life. She's created multiple characters as her survival mechanism. Emily Nelson is only a figment of her imagination. Hope McLendon is her true identity. Fashion is the way we can instantly change who we are.
Fashion has the power to transform us. It's not so much about who you are, but who you want to be. Even those who hate fashion make a statement with what they wear, if only to say to the world, I don't give a damn.
Anytime we see Emily dress in a more ladylike way, it's when she is wanting to appear more innocent. We see her in a skirt after she met Sean's mother. With polished hair to match, she is probably attempting to win over the heart of her mother-in-law. She wants to appear like the perfect wife so no one will suspect her of anything. She then reveals to Sean that she stole his mother's ring and has no intention of giving it back. She then lures him to the airplane bathroom to use sex as a tool of manipulation. Emily can go from an intimidating masculine business figure to this sweet feminine housewife. All it takes is a quick wardrobe change. Emily is sensing her schemes coming to a head. Maybe in case her plan went awry, she would want to appear to police or any witness as an innocent, gentle, nurturing woman who would never commit a crime a day in her life. Just like how we view Stephanie. We see throughout this film Stephanie looking up to Emily in a lot of ways, but make no mistake, Emily also took notes from Stephanie. This housewife look is practically identical to one of Stephanie's dresses earlier in the film, a belted floral dress with light pink tulle underneath. Stephanie did something similar, except she wore one of Emily's actual dresses when she believed she had passed away. They both have learned a thing or two from one another. This film is a metaphor for how feminine and masculine women can inspire one another. Masculine women might think, how can I be more soft? While feminine women ask, how can I be more assertive? Both are powerful qualities in a woman. Emily's hair with this look is quite comical to me. It looks much more polished than her usual waves, but still messily thrown together. Revealing to the audience polished and submissive is not Emily's usual, and her lazy attempt at housewife curls proves that. The head hairstylist of A Simple Favor, Cleona Fury, explains Emily's retro look. She says she put Moose in Lively's hair while it was damp and then set it in pin curls. Blake slept in the curls overnight and Fury brushed it out in the morning. The process is classic Emily, minimal effort. Moving on to Stephanie. This is the first time we've seen her in an almost all black outfit. She's ditching colorful florals for a more serious, intimidating look. She needed an outfit that hit a camera well, and her usual rainbow-colored fits would have ruined her plan. Her dark eyeliner matching her newfound vigilante role. But, just like always, Stephanie is still herself. Her buttoned-up sweater and basic black booties wouldn't be caught dead on Emily. Comparing the first and last outfits of these two characters is quite interesting. They do a 180 with their outfits, symbolizing the roller coaster ride they've been on throughout the movie. Experiences change us, and as our inner world changes, so does our outer world. Your outfits are either going to be exactly who you are or who you're trying to convince people you are. Who are you? Masculine or feminine? Thank you so much for watching my video essay on A Simple Favor. My name is Juliana Zinchenko. I'm a video editor, seamstress, writer, and podcaster. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell button to know when new video essays are out, like this video, and follow me on Instagram and TikTok for more fashion and movie talk. The head hairstylist of A Simple Flavor